Do you know about Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph and a senior companion of the Prophet Muhammad, known as al-Faruq, which means the one who distinguished between fair and unfair? Omar became the second caliph after the death of Abu Bakr. His reign lasted for 10 years, during which the Islamic State expanded significantly. Under his leadership, how Umar converted to Islam. Before converting to Islam, Omar was known for his fierce opposition to the new religion. In one incident, he set out with his sword, intending to kill the Prophet Muhammad. On his way, he learned that his sister Fatima and her husband had embraced Islam. Furious, he went to their house, and in a fit of rage, he struck his sister, causing her to bleed. However, when he saw her unwavering faith and determination, he was moved and decided to listen to the verses of the Quran she was reading. This event led to his conversion to Islam. The incident not only highlights his initial strength and ferocity, but also his subsequent transformation and strength of character. Omar's personal strength and courage were well known among his contemporaries. He was often described as tall, physically imposing, and strong, with a commanding presence. His reputation for strength was such that many of his enemies feared facing him in combat. His physical prowess was matched by his unwavering faith and determination, making him a formidable figure both before and after his conversion to Islam. Umar ibn al-Khattab's life is filled with many inspiring stories that highlight his justice, humility, and dedication to his faith. Here are 7 particularly inspiring stories. 1. The story of the camel and the governor. Al-Faruq appointed several governors to manage the different provinces of the rapidly expanding Islamic State. He held these governors to very high standards of conduct. One day, Omar was informed that one of his governors had acquired a camel that was much fatter and healthier than the others. Omar called the governor and asked how his camel had become so well fed. The governor replied that the camel grazed in the public pastures along with the other camels. Omar, suspecting that the governor was using his position to favor his own camel, said, "The people will say, 'Let the camel of the governor graze until it gets fat. Return it to the public treasury.'" This story demonstrates Omar's commitment to preventing any misuse of power and ensuring that all public servants remained accountable. 2. The story of the blind woman. Al-Faruq used to roam the streets of Medina at night to see if anyone needed help. One night, he came across a blind woman who lived alone. He noticed that someone regularly came to her house to do chores and provide her with food. Omar was curious to know who this person was. The next morning, he found that it was none other than Abu Bakr, the first caliph and his predecessor, who had been serving the blind woman without telling anyone. Inspired by Abu Bakr's example, Omar continued to take care of the woman after Abu Bakr's death, showcasing his humility and commitment to the welfare of his people. 3. The story of the justice for the Christian. A Christian man came to Omar with a complaint against a Muslim. The Muslim had wronged him, and the Christian sought justice. Omar listened to both sides and ruled in favor of the Christian, ensuring he received his rights. This decision caused some discontent among those who felt that a non-Muslim should not be given preference over a Muslim. Omar responded, "Justice is not based on religion, but on truth and fairness." His actions demonstrated his unwavering commitment to justice, regardless of the individual's faith. 4. The story of the conquest of Jerusalem. In 637 CE, when the Muslims were negotiating the surrender of Jerusalem, the Christian patriarch Sophronius requested that the keys to the city be handed over personally to the caliph. Omar traveled to Jerusalem and entered the city humbly, dressed in simple clothes. He signed a treaty ensuring the protection of the Christian holy sites and the safety of the inhabitants. This event is often cited as an example of Umar's humility, respect for other religions, and fair treatment of conquered people. 5. The story of the Persian governor. When the Muslims conquered Persia, many Persian leaders accepted Islam and became part of the new administration. Omar appointed a Persian named Hormuzan as a governor in Persia. However, when Hormuzan was accused of corruption, Omar ordered a thorough investigation. Upon finding Hormuzan guilty, Omar dismissed him from his post, despite Hormuzan's status and influence. This story highlights Omar's insistence on justice and accountability, regardless of a person's position or background. 6. The story of the land reform. One of Omar's significant contributions was the land reform he implemented in the newly conquered territories. Instead of distributing the conquered lands among the soldiers, Omar kept the lands under the control of the local population, allowing them to continue farming and living there. The Muslims collected taxes, jizya and kharaj, to be used for public welfare and the state. This policy ensured the economic stability of the conquered regions and prevented the creation of a landed aristocracy among the Muslim conquerors. It showcased Omar's foresight and equitable approach to governance. 7. The story of the necklace and the treasury. Once, Omar's wife, Kulthum, received a valuable necklace as a gift from the wife of the Byzantine emperor. When Omar saw the necklace, he asked her where it came from. She explained it was a gift. Umar responded, "People will say the wife of the caliph received such an expensive gift, and they will think it was obtained through my position. It should go to the public treasury." Kulthum agreed, and the necklace was handed over to the treasury. This story exemplifies Umar's integrity and his strict adherence to ethical standards, even within his own family. These stories further illustrate Umar ibn al-Khattab's dedication to justice, humility, and compassionate leadership. His actions and decisions set a powerful example of ethical and principled governance.
Subscribe to not miss our next videos. To know about some of the best people who ever lived. The knowledge of Muslim legacies.